Salve família!
Você que quer fazer intercâmbio e curtir o estilo de vida australiano, lembre de se inscrever no nosso canal e acompanhar o Australian Lifestyle Podcast.
Falar o quê, meu amigo? Vai lá!
Bem-vindos ao Australian Lifestyle. Estamos de volta, dessa vez em pleno calor, para falar de educação internacional, Vini. É por aí?
A gente vai falar de opções de curso de inglês para quem ainda está no Brasil e quer vir para a Austrália e também para aqueles que já estão aqui. E para isso a gente trouxe um dos caras mais experientes, na verdade, assim, uma família, né? É o membro de uma família que é pioneira no ensino de inglês para estrangeiros aqui na Austrália. E a gente está aqui com o Matt Milner, da Milner College. Matt, welcome to Australian Lifestyle Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Vinny. It's a great pleasure to see you again, and I'm really looking forward to having a chat today. Thanks.
Tell us a little bit more, Matt, how you got involved with this sector and running an English school in Perth.
So, how did I get involved in the industry? Well, Milner College, it's a family business, so it's in my blood. My parents, my mum and dad, they started their first English school over 50 years ago now in London. Wow. And then they moved to Perth and opened Milner College in 1984. So that's almost 40 years ago. And as a little kid, I didn't really go to kindergarten. I just went into work with mum and dad. All the students, they looked after me. So it's what I know. And I've been properly officially working at Milner College now for about probably over 15 years now. So it's in my DNA, it's in my blood. So that's how I got involved. And yeah, absolutely love it. It's just my life.
All right, Matt. And I'm always curious to know if there is a way to learn any other language, but especially English, faster or in a way that it feels easier for somebody who is just, getting accustomed to speaking another language.
Yeah, good question. I think the most important thing is to surround yourself with people who speak that language. So whenever we get this question from students who have arrived in Perth, spend as much time as you can with Australians, try to speak English at all times. If you can, find a house or share a house with locals, with Australians, try and get a job with Australians, so you're just practicing your English all the time. A lot of the time, you don't see the same improvement if you come here and you just spend your time with your Brazilian friends speaking Portuguese. So that would be my number one piece of advice. Just spend as much time as you can with Australians speaking English, and just resist the temptation to speak Portuguese with your Brazilian friends.
It's always important to emphasize the need of try to mingle with the students from other nationalities, with Australians. Something that we always talk here also, Matt, besides going to school, also try to get involved with hobbies, practice sports or play music with people from different countries. I think that also helps the learning process. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, exactly, 100%. I play futsal, indoor soccer, a couple of times a week, and all the teams that we play against, they're from all these different countries, a mixture of cultures, a mixture of languages. And, that social interaction, they're forced to speak English in a fun environment. It's a hobby for a lot of people. Just those little things like that, part of your lifestyle, that can really improve your English, and you're not even in the classroom. So I agree with you. I don't know how you did it, Vinny. I mean, You probably immersed yourself in the local life, spoke to as many, different people from different countries as possible. But I mean, you're proof, it's really important.
Yeah, Matt, for me, it was interesting because I could not speak a word of English, when I first came. I remember when I first came, I came trying to learn the name of the weekdays, like Monday, Tuesday. But the flight is so long that at least by the end of the flight from Brazil to Australia, I already knew all the all the name of the weekdays. But I didn't know English at all, and I did exactly what we're discussing here. I had a very basic English, and I went to a school like Milner. I tried to mingle with students from different nationalities, and this is the best way to learn. To immerse yourself in a culture where everyone speaks English.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the role of the culture itself, right? I mean, it's so important to be immersed in that environment, right? Not only hearing or learning or speaking during classroom, but especially outside of the class, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell the students who really immerse themselves outside of the classroom, because ultimately their English gets a lot better, a lot quicker, a lot sooner. So you can really tell.
And Matt, you guys welcome students from all English levels, right? Like if a person has a very basic English level, like I did when I first came to Australia, they can still choose Milner to study. Is that right?
Oh yeah. So we have students from beginner all the way to advanced Vinny. Yeah, some students just, they might know how to say hello and that's it. They have nothing. So we definitely cater for those students, and all levels from beginner to advanced. So yeah, we've been welcoming students to our classrooms for so long now. We have great teachers who are really experienced at all different levels. So any student with any ability can come to Milner College.
All right. And could you share any success stories of students from Milner, Matt?
Oh, I mean, there are so many, and I guess it really just depends on what your definition of success is. I mean, for some people, success is, going from beginner to elementary or intermediate, and for me that's amazing if they achieve that goal. But yeah, of course, there are so many success stories. Just off the top of my head, a Brazilian guy, actually, I used to teach him a number of years ago, and he came to Milner College and he knew nothing. Like, seriously, he didn't even know how to say hello. But he worked so hard, and he immersed himself in the Australian life. He was so enthusiastic, really dedicated. He would have been with us for well over a year. But at the end of that, his English was great. And now he's got a very senior position in a mining company in Western Australia, in logistics and procurement. His wife also studied at Milner College. She's got a very senior position in an accounting firm. They have a nice house close to the beach. They have a beautiful little daughter. They got married in Perth. They're now citizens, and they're really happy.
And how does the school organize its teaching? What is the Milner methodology like? If a student coming from overseas to study English at your college, what can they expect?
Once I graduated from high school, I went to university and did quite an academic course. And I thought, oh, this is cool, this is good. But then when I finished and went out into the real world, I realized that, gee, what I learned at university didn't really apply in the real world, okay? So at Milner College, it's not like that at all. It's very direct, it's very practical, it's based on real life experiences. It's very hands-on. There's a lot of participation between students with the teacher, and it's designed to reflect the realities of real life, out on the street, socializing with people, in the workplace. It's very practical. So that's our method. And we've been applying that method for decades now. And I think it's the best way to go about it, because it really, it really sets you up for interacting with people in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I heard that too. You have at Milner a student accommodation as well, right? So how does it work for somebody that wants to arrive and have an accommodation at Milner?
Yeah, so we actually have 6 apartments on campus.
All right.
At Milner College. They're fully private, self-contained. Your own kitchen, your own bathroom, your own laundry. And they're available to our students if they want to rent them. And they're really popular because, you're at school, you're in the middle of the city, you're close to everything. You don't really need a car because you can walk everywhere. So yeah, we have those apartments at school. And yeah, you need to book ahead because, they're quite popular. But aside from that, we also offer all the other accommodation services that you would expect from an international school.
All right.
Which are homestays? What else do you guys offer as an option for accommodation, Matt?
Yeah, of course. So we've got homestay, which, is really popular. We've got families who we've been working with for 20, 30 years. We know them really, really well. And we organise all the homestay accommodation ourselves. We don't outsource it to a third party, which I think is really important for quality control. We have house share. We have relationships with student accommodation providers in Perth. You'd be familiar with Campus Perth, Vinny. So there are lots and lots of different accommodation options, and we can organise it all in-house for our students.
And could you tell a little bit about the differences between different cultures that you see over there? And if you could, just give it an overview of of how you feel about each of these cultures.
Yeah, wow. Where do I start? So we have a lot of different nationalities and cultures at Milner College. Well, maybe I can start with the Brazilians. Always the life of the party, so enthusiastic, like to talk a lot, and they're great to have in class. Particularly with some of the other nationalities who can be a little bit shy and reserved when they first meet people. The Brazilians really bring out, they bring out the best in people. They seem to relax everyone, and there's a good atmosphere in the class. Look, we have quite a few Japanese and Korean students, and I guess they're a little bit more reserved compared to our Brazilian students and students from Colombia. But after a while, you realize that, no matter where you're from around the world, when it comes down to it, a lot of people are the same, right? Once you break down those barriers, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's there for the same reason. They've made a big investment in their education, which I think to move to the other side of the world, you have to have quite a bit of confidence and courage and bravery. I mean, we have over 30 different nationalities at Milner College. So to try and, explain the differences between all the cultures is quite difficult, but I would definitely say that the Brazilians and the Colombians, they're wonderful to have in the classroom because they're very confident, they're not shy, they work hard, but they also like to have a good time. And I think they bring out the best in the other nationalities. That's for sure.
I love your
Almost
experience
traveling.
when you say. Sorry, Vinny, I just wanted to remark that we're all the same, right? And this is amazing, actually, to realize that around the world, so many different cultures, places to live and everything. But in the end, we're all the same. And that's a huge, understanding.
Yeah, although there are some differences which will always be there. So the Brazilians are always the best soccer players. I hate to admit it, but it's true. And also they're the best dancers. So we have a few student parties every now and then at Milner College, and all the nationalities, they're quite shy to get on the dance floor. Not the Brazilians. They're always there. They're having a good time. They can move really well, and they just put everyone else to shame. So there are some differences that you just can't change.
Yeah. And Matt, how is the a normal day at Milner like? So the students that will arrive from Brazil or from Colombia to the school, will get there, and what are they gonna do?
Well, it's going to be a pretty exciting day for them, that's for sure. So they'll meet their teachers, their morning teacher and their afternoon teacher. They'll meet all their classmates. They'll meet either myself or my father. We'll be welcoming them when they arrive at school. They'll get an information pack that we go through with them, that tells them all about Milner College, living in Perth, life in Perth, what to expect. They'll be shown around the school so they're familiar with their surroundings. But importantly, they start their classes straight away, and they're expected to speak as much English as possible. And yeah, so it's an exciting time, but we realise that it can be quite a daunting time as well. So we try to be as supportive as possible, and get them to meet their classmates and their teachers as soon as possible.
Yeah, could you talk about the range of courses offered by Milner?
Yeah, sure. So our most popular course is General English. I would say 80% of our students choose to do this course. We also offer Cambridge courses, PET, FCE, CAE and CPE. So at the end of your Cambridge course, there is an exam. You can choose to do that exam or not, but it's a really great course, and a lot of people will move to a Cambridge course after they've done some general English. It's a very natural progression. We also have an IELTS preparation course for students who are interested in doing the IELTS exam. And we've also just introduced an academic English course, which is starting at the beginning of next year, which is a combination of IELTS and academic English. So we're excited to start that course. We think it'll be really, really popular. And we also have evening classes as well. I know an increasing number of students are interested in studying in the evening. So we have general English in the evening as well as a Cambridge course. So yeah, between all those courses, you'll find something that's suitable for every student, every English level, every ability. So yeah, they're the main courses that we offer at school.
Oh, really good. Yeah, especially this new course you guys are starting. I think it's really important. As I've been to before I came to do my PhD here in Australia, I do an IELTS preparation, and it was definitely essential to get a good grade and be able to get my visa as a student.
Yeah, it really depends on what the student's goal is. So a lot of students will do IELTS if they want to, if they have an intention to study at university or something like that. They'll need an IELTS score to get entry into that university course. Yeah, so it just depends on what the individual goal of the student is. But yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of different courses which will suit everyone.
I personally really like the Cambridge courses. I think it's a great program. A lot of these courses they have a set start and a set ending date, which also means that like the whole group will study together. I think that's got some benefits to the group. And I see a lot of the improvement during this 12 weeks, which it's what takes to finish the Cambridge courses. And you can do like the FCE first and then the CAE, so you can do more than one Cambridge course as well. We have been offering this program to a lot of our clients, even those that are already in Australia. So let's say they first come here to study English, they do a general English course, but instead of just enroll themselves in a vocational program that may not add so much to their careers or to their skills. I know for a lot of them, I encourage them to do the Cambridge programs. I really think that adds a lot of value, make them improve their English considerably, and essentially it's just a very good program.
Yeah, I agree. All our courses are good, but I think the Cambridge courses are the most, prestigious, and certainly the most beneficial for your English. And look, Milner College has been running the Cambridge course longer than anyone pretty much in Australia, decades and decades. And we have some of the best Cambridge teachers going around. They're highly experienced. Some of them have been teaching with us for 20, 25 years. They are the top level teachers. And I agree with what you say, Vinny. Cambridge is a fantastic course. It's a set course in terms of how long it lasts. You can do an exam at the end of it. And I think employees or employers, they look very favorably at people who have done a Cambridge course because it means something quite special. So yeah, if someone is interested in doing a Cambridge course or they're not quite sure whether they should do one or not, I'd really encourage them to do it because it will be fantastic for their English.
I just want to say that I think this characteristic of Milner, it's really important to emphasize. Milner is a family company. It's founded by your parents. You are involved with the operation of the schools. And our understanding is that this brings a lot of quality and a very good experience to someone that is coming from overseas. That special care that you guys have with the school, with the teachers, with the students, is something that translates to a very positive feedback from our clients, I must say. We hardly have any issue with people that we send to Milner. They generally very happy. Whenever there is an issue, the Milner team is always quite fast to reply and to solve whatever matter we may come across. So I just want to say that we are super happy to work with you guys, and the students are also very happy, and I'd like to thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. And you can understand that because as Matt just explained, right, your parents especially had the experience to live elsewhere, right? So they understand exactly what passes through the life of their students.
Yeah, that's right. And Vinny, they're very kind words. I really appreciate it. And of course, I agree with you. We are pretty unique, and we have a really nice family atmosphere, and we really care about our students. But yeah, it's only possible because we, get to work with, amazing people like yourself. So really, really appreciate those kind words. Thanks very much.
So I think that comes to our last question, Tiago, and I'll let you ask it.
All right, Matt. So this is pretty simple, actually, or complex, depending on how you look at it. But the last question is, what is the Australian lifestyle for you?
Oh, mate. That is a difficult question. I would say the Australian lifestyle, I would say it's pretty laid back and relaxed. It's all about the outdoors. I think there's a big cafe culture in Australia, particularly on the weekend. And I think all of this has to do with the environment, the proximity to the beach, the good weather. For me, that would be the Australian lifestyle. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better place to live, a better place to raise a family. There are just so many opportunities in this country, and it is the lucky country. So, I feel really blessed to live here.
Yeah, more you travel, more you realize how Australian is luck indeed, and and we both have young kids, and I must agree, Matt, Perth, to bring up kids is just the place.
It is, mate. I couldn't agree more. We're just so lucky to live where we live, and I think we're all very blessed. Yeah,
indeed.
All right, I love it, and I'll tell you what, man, I invite you guys who are just watching and listening to this podcast to come and live this Australian lifestyle, because it's just something that we can explain it, and we've been doing it in every episode of the Australian Lifestyle podcast. But unless you come here and experience it, it's hard to tell.
É isso aí, tem que vir experimentar, né, Tiago?
É por aí, é bem por aí. Então, obrigado mais uma vez pela audiência. Valeu pela companhia, Vini. Thanks for joining us, Matt. It was a great chat. And I hope to come to Perth pretty soon and meet you personally.
Sounds good, mate. Let us know. And thanks for the opportunity today, guys. Really appreciate it. Good to see you, Vinny. And enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, Matt. Next week I'm in Perth. We go for a coffee.
Look forward to it, mate. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
All right. Valeu, galera. A gente se vê na próxima, hein? Falou!
Salve, família!
Você que quer fazer intercâmbio e curtir o estilo de vida australiano, lembre de se inscrever no nosso canal e acompanhar o Australian Lifestyle Podcast.
Falar o quê, meu amigo? Vai lá!